Uccello's in Caledonia. I'm Rick Berkey, along with the head football coach, Sparky McEwen. We've got a big show lined up for you here tonight. We're going to talk Davenport football, of course, as we always do on Tuesday nights here at Uccello's. Not only is Sparky here, he's brought one of his top players, Patrick Mcmahon, who's been such a big part of his program ever since Sparky's just about been here. And we've also got a very special guest, Chris Hughes, the men's soccer coach, is here. And boy, what a season the soccer team is having. After a fantastic weekend, they're on the top of the GLIAC standings right now. So we'll talk some men's soccer a little bit later on in the program. Right now we welcome Sparky in, though, after a tough loss. We talked last week, Sparky, about going up to Ferris. You knew there was no secrets. You knew you were playing the top number 2 team in the nation. And, for all but 3 minutes of that first half, you went toe-to-toe with them.
We did, and we knew we had to go into that game, and in scheme-wise, we're going to have to do some different things that we felt like could give us a chance to compete. And I felt like our defensive staff, AJ, Coach Walker, Manny, Mello, I thought those guys did a tremendous job of scheming to give us an opportunity. And the next thing you know, offensively, we struggled. We actually did some things, well offensively to hold onto the ball a little bit and sustain a couple early drives. But, third downs killed us the entire game. They're extremely stout. Even with having a few defensive backs out, Tony's able to go deep into his roster and have guys in the secondary that can run just like our guys on the defensive side, secondary. And so it made it extremely tough on us. We gave our sophomore quarterback an opportunity to go out and compete and help us in the run game, and I thought that Blake did a tremendous job. He held his own there, and what a way to go in and play against the number 2 team in the country and have to take that call. He got the call minutes before the game that he was going to start. The way we run practices, we tell everyone that you just got to be ready. And on the way into the locker room, I say, "Hey, you ready to go?" He goes, "Yeah, Coach." I said, "Good, because you start." So I was happy for him. I saw some things in him that I really needed to see that does the stage get too bright for him, and I thought he handled it extremely well.
Well, he's your leading rusher with 50 yards. You ran the ball 35 times versus 19 pass attempts. Was that the plan going in, just to keep the clock moving as much as possible and keeping it out of one of the most explosive offenses in D2?
It is the most explosive offense in D2, and, yeah, that was part of our game plan. We wanted to be able to obviously put ourselves in good situations where we can chop the sticks in half and have manageable downs to attain first downs. And we had some crucial penalties early, and we had a couple drops in that same game that halted a couple could-be drives, and you can't do that against, the Ferris State, type of ball club that, is going to go on, obviously, to continue to do big things. But we felt like we had a good game plan in place. It kind of got away from us going early into the third quarter, and going against a team of that nature, that's all they need is more opportunities, and I felt like they did that by us not extending drives and things like that and not converting. Credit to them. They figured out. I've always said Tony's the best at making halftime adjustments and figure some things out, and he did a good job. And we didn't stop the run. We just pretty much held it in check a little bit, and but he went to the passing game, and they made some big catches, on it. So credit to those kids for making big plays when the opportunity presented itself.
You mentioned drops. I hear coaches each week at every level mention, often talk about the drops. From a coaching standpoint, what do you do to try to minimize drops? I mean, obviously the guys don't want to drop them, and they don't plan on dropping them. What can you do preparation-wise to limit them?
Coach Taylor, he's been with me. It's been a pleasure getting him back and being back on the same sideline with him again. All you can do as a coach is continue to do the basic fundamentals and working with your kids and putting them in positions that will allow them to emulate what they're going to see in the game. And at the end of the day, you got to make plays. Whether it's the other team or you got to make plays. And our guys understand that. And when you're on that kind of stage, you don't have any room for error. Our guys know. They understand it was a non-league game, but they were playing against the best in the country. and you're going to have to play your best games when you're playing against those type of teams.
You mentioned the defense did step up in many ways. Individually, as you watch the game, and probably more specifically after you've watched the tape, who stood out for you?
Liam Cavanaugh. Wow, what an amazing game.
Young man from West Ottawa High School.
Yeah, and it's good getting him back. This has been his second game back, and, he was a starter, and we lost him early in the season, and Mbose didn't play. Our best defensive player did not play in the football game, and, it was a decision, that was mutual. That we felt like, if he plays in that game, we could potentially lose him for the remainder of the year. So getting that extra week of rest for him and getting Liam back, Liam, we felt like he stepped in. He played hard. He played smart. 15 tackles. It's the most tackles we've had in the game this year, a single game. So the next man up is what we call it, and we felt like those guys did a really good job. Offensively, we really struggled against a very tough, unit.
Can we look for maybe Liam and Elise being on the field at the same time, or are they going to be in the same position? You don't want to do that.
Well, no, that coming in, both those guys were our starters. So those two have not played together yet. This year, So it's one of those deals for us that whatever the hand we're dealt, we have to play with that hand. And Elise looks like he's going to be back here soon. And it's going to probably be a game time, decision on him as well as a couple other players.
We are changing things around a little bit. We mentioned we've got Patrick Mcmahon coming up on the show. We've got Chris Hughes, the men's soccer coach as well. Sparky has to leave early tonight for the West Michigan Sports Hall of Fame ceremony in downtown. That's always a big deal, big thing in West Michigan. So we're glad you're able to be a part of that, Sparky. Let's zip right ahead and look ahead to Michigan Tech. Michigan Tech at home last week. They lost. They fell behind 30-0, I think, to Grand Valley State before getting a couple touchdowns in the second half. What are the keys against Michigan Tech this week?
Well, this team, that 30-0 score was not indicative of the way that ball game was being played. Grand Valley did hit them, to their credit, on some big plays, but you're talking about a very stingy crew. That group there is extremely stingy, and it's extremely hard to play there. We've won there before on the dramatic win at the end of the game. But
one of the most dramatic in program history.
But the deal is no one likes to go up there and play. It's a long trip. It's beautiful, but it's a 2-day trip for us, and we actually, by way of our university, we handle it well. We take 2 days to make that trip and just to get our guys' minds right and get them comfortable to go out and play. This is one of the tougher Michigan Tech teams that I've seen. They've got more speed than they've had in the past. Coach Olson has done a really good job of getting some more athletes, in there, and it's going to be another tough game for us. This is a league opener, and our guys understand the significance, the impact on this season, playing a game of this magnitude this early.
Quarterback Will Ark, maybe not as much of a threat of rushing the ball as the previous quarterbacks you've seen the last couple weeks, but he can sling it.
Right now, he's arguably one of the best quarterbacks in our league coming into the preseasons. Okay, he was one of the guys that, as our staff, we went through and we evaluated rosters. Here's a guy that he's a field general. He's a true point guard, and he does a tremendous job. And our guys know we've got to play our smartest game of the year. I like to compare Michigan Tech to Truman. Okay, and obviously we know Truman now, I think, is somewhere in the top 15 in the country, maybe 10. They're undefeated, so same caliber type of student athlete, extremely smart, going to get after you, very tough, and it's going to be a 4-quarter affair.
You mentioned the trip. You got to take a look at their schedule. My goodness, Tech, after they play at home this Saturday, they've not been on the road yet. They've been at home every single week for 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, vice versa. We've been on the road for 3 straight weeks, and this will be our 4th game, on the road, and it's been extremely, extremely tough. Playing at home, we welcome that once we get that opportunity again.
Yeah, you'll be home for 4 out of 5. How are the guys holding up mentally? Because without that home court or home field advantage and the crowd to inspire them, it can beat you down a little bit, physically and mentally.
Oh, yeah, it could beat you down. You know, we went up to Northern Michigan, and if you recall, we lost on that last play there, opportunity to go up, and then all of a sudden, you know, you play, you know, on the road in a tough atmosphere, you know, like, you know, Ferris State, homecoming, standing room only up there, and man, it makes it really tough when you're not playing in front of your own people. When we played at Walsh, had to make a goal line stand in order to win that one, so it makes your heart stop for a beat, you know, but our guys know this is the way it's been since we've been there. They know that, you know, the chips are stacked against us, but we're going to always fight.
Well, last time we went up there, like we said, it was one of the most dramatic finishes in program history, the last-second touchdown to win it on the road. And let's hopefully we'll have similar dramatics this week. Coach, thanks for joining us, and best of luck. We look forward to talking with you Saturday up in Houghton. That's Coach Sparky McEwen. We're going to take a timeout, come back with Patrick Mcmahon, one of the outstanding players on the Panthers defense. So let's take a timeout. You're watching and listening to the Davenport Coaches Show live from Uccello's in Caledonia. Stay with us.
Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lake Shore. Van Dyke's loan experts know how to help you prepare and help you get approved. Don't wait for the market to be perfect. Start your planning with Mario Flores, branch manager at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lake Shore.
Mario Flores, NMLS number 135862. Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp. NMLS number 3035. 231-638-0200. MarioFlores.VanDykeMortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
And we continue with the Davenport Coaches Show live from Uccello's in Caledonia. We're here every Tuesday night. If you're watching us, come back each Tuesday night, either on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or on the Dan. And if you're listening to us leading up to our broadcast on Saturday, you're listening to us on Magic 104.9, our radio partner this year that we're excited to be with throughout the 2021 season. We're continuing with the football flow right now. Patrick Mcmahon, a 6'2", 260-pound defensive lineman from Illinois, Inverness, Illinois, joins us right now. He's a graduate student, and he's been a terrific, not only a terrific player, but a great student throughout. He's been all academic excellence for 4 years already. And Patrick, obviously that's been instilled in you at an early age that it's not just about going out and making tackles. You got it really well.
Yes, my dad always told me that football's going to get you so far in life, so you may as well make the most of it.
Your dad was obviously a big part of that. Who were some other key people in your upbringing that really helped you become not only the player you are, but the person you are?
Probably my brother Joe. He's the closest I am to anyone in my family. I was the best man at his wedding in 2019, and honestly, I just love him, and I do everything because he's looked after me my whole life. How
much older is he than you?
He's 11 years older than me.
Okay, all right. That's quite a gap, but you had a bond. It's unusual, I think, to have an 11-year gap and have siblings that close.
Well, I'm the youngest of 6, actually, with a very wide gap between me and my oldest. My oldest would be like 54 as a half-sibling.
All right. Well, we talked to Coach a little bit about the game Saturday. Ferris was everything that they said they'd be, but, with 3 minutes to go, again, people see that final score and thinking, well, Davenport was, clocked right from the beginning. No, with 3 minutes to go in the first half, folks, it was 0-0 up in Big Rapids against the number 2 team. At that point, I got to think, especially defensively, you're feeling we're doing some good things here.
Yeah, as a whole, our team was really fired up. It's not every day that you get to play the number 1, number 2, number 3 team in the nation, so that definitely lit a fire under us, and it was something that we really looked forward to and a goal that we really wanted to conquer.
Patrick from Inverness, Illinois, we said William Fremd High School. Am I saying that right?
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that high school and your high school coaches and how they helped prepare you for where you are today.
Lou Sponsel, Coach Davis, Coach Davis probably had one of the biggest impacts on me as a.
So your head coach in high school, or
Lou Sponsel was the head coach, and Coach Davis was my defensive coordinator.
Okay.
We would always talk. They would always let me get in the weight room and get extra lifts in whenever I wanted to. So I always loved that. And they really just let me blossom and become the kind of player that I wanted to be. They understood that I wanted to work hard, both on the field and off the field. So they just let me kind of do what I wanted to do, and it was awesome.
What kind of conference was Fremd in?
8A, the largest conference.
Okay, tell us about the competition level. I've got a little bit I know about it, but tell us.
The competition level is almost second to none, really. There's a lot of people from the conference. I mean, we played Scotty Miller, who's on the Buccaneers right now, twice a year there from Barrington. So that was kind of cool.
That's new. You are majoring in accounting. You already have your undergrad degree.
Correct.
What are you going after in graduate school?
I'm doing my Master's of Accountancy and focus with getting my CPA.
All right. Any internships lined up yet?
I actually have a full-time job starting in Plant Moran in January.
In January?
Yes.
All right. So you'll have your degree, your Master's in December?
Yes.
Fantastic. You've already got a full-time job lined up?
Correct.
This guy's got it going. He's already got the job. So are you going to stick around to West Michigan then?
Yes, I'm actually going to get married in August as well, too. So.
My goodness. Are you marrying a Davenport girl?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right. Fantastic. So you got you got the career. You got that. Any coaching in the future? You want to do anything with youngsters or anything down the road?
Honestly, we always talk about it. One of my best friend's dads is a coach at Caledonia High School, and I've always wanted to maybe one day link up with him and see if I can help out with him.
All right, that's great to hear. So, what is this team? I know offensively there's some strides, but defensively, you played pretty much 2 good quarters, but then things broke down in the second half. Where does the defense still have to get better?
We just got to get together and trust our training. At the end of the day, we know what we have to do. It's just actually getting it done. That's the hard part for us right now. But if we just come together as a team and rely on each other and know that we got each other's backs, that's going to make all the difference in the world.
So other than school, other than athletics, other than your fiance, what do you do for yourself just for your own personal time? Do you hunt? Do you fish? What do you do?
Honestly, I like to work out a lot, and every so often I'll play some video games and I'll stream them online.
You've been here since 2016, is that right?
Correct.
So you've really been here. You've been one of the rocks of this program. How is that? How do you feel in terms of leadership and how you've grown in that area from the time you were a peach-faced freshman coming into DU?
Definitely, I've become more vocal. I wouldn't say that I'm still the most vocal person on the team, but I like to lead by example. But over the years, I've definitely become more vocal.
Your favorite movie is Forrest Gump.
Yes.
All right. So do you have any special? What are your favorite scenes? I've got a bunch of them, but you have a favorite scene?
Oh man, Lieutenant Dan Ice Cream. I mean, that just sticks right out to my mind right now.
That is absolutely classic. All right. So again, if there's 20 years down the road, there's 2 guys. If I told you there's 2 guys on this team you're still going to be in regular contact with, who would they be?
Well, I don't know if this counts, but Austin Simmons, he was on the previous team. Him and I are always, I just asked him to be my groomsman, so I know I'm always going to be with him.
Great.
And then maybe Peyton Mitchell right now.
All right, that's fantastic. Well, Patrick, thanks for stopping us. You got some good Uccello's food over there. So I pulled you away from it, but we look forward to more great things from our good friend Patrick Mcmahon on that defensive line. We're going to take another time out, come back and talk some soccer. Great news on the men's soccer front here at Davenport as you watch and listen to the Davenport Coaches Show live from Uccello's in Caledonia.
Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore's commitment to finding the right home loan for you is second to none. The experienced licensed team at Van Dyke on the Lakeshore will work hard to give you a smooth and timely mortgage process from application to closing. Mario Flores, branch manager at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore, has access to a full range of mortgage products so that you get the right loan with a great rate, the terms you're looking for, and costs to meet your unique needs. Call Mario Flores at 231-638-0200 today and experience the Van Dyke Mortgage difference.
Mario Flores, NMLS 135862, Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp NMLS 3035, 231-638-0200, marioflores.vandykemortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
And we continue with the Davenport Coaches Show.
Games.
Yeah, we're going to catch Davenport football game this Saturday up in Houghton against the Michigan Tech Huskies. But we are talking soccer right now, men's soccer, and boy, we've got a great, exciting story to tell you. If you're not following Davenport men's soccer, you should be, because they're in first place in the GLIAC with a sparkling 4-0 conference record, and they had a fantastic weekend, especially on Friday when you beat Parkside 3-2. Now that's enough in itself, but down 2-0. That doesn't happen very often, Coach.
It's a dangerous lead to have. And I'll tell you, these kids this year, the games that we've tagged in the last 4, that last 5, 10, 15 minutes has been exciting. Even our fans that are watching online, calling the Cardiac kids and just having a ton of fun. The boys are really just leaving it out there for a full 90 minutes.
Now, when you're down 2-0, I know that you need to pick things up in certain areas, but from a coaching standpoint, do you have to guard against the guys playing with desperation? Because 2-0 is bad, but it's not necessarily desperate, but some guys might overreact, right?
It's a dangerous lead to have, because you score one could be a momentum changer for sure. And it was a bit of that, They came out, they had the wind the first half, and the first 20 minutes, they were fantastic. I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be a long game. And we found out some things at the end of the first half, and then definitely getting into that second half, we started to play some ball. And it's not easy playing away. We played 2 games away this weekend. We were at Parkside and then at Northern Michigan, and those aren't easy places to play, and found a way to win both.
Justice Sikkema from North Muskegon, second in the GLIAC with 5 goals so far. He's obviously a big part of your team.
He's absolutely on fire. The last year or two, it's he's been trying to find his way, and he is just taken the game to the game, and couldn't be more proud of him. And wonderful, humble kid, but he is really producing results for us, and it's helping us.
And how about Matt Whelan, a young man from Ireland who scored the winning goal in 3 consecutive contests?
Hey, we'll take it, right? And he just got back from an injury. He was out all spring. Hurt his shoulder in the Purdue Northwest game earlier this year, and he's back, and we got to get some more cardio in him, but he's really helping us out, and boy, just those 2 alone are a pretty dangerous pair. And
that brings up an interesting contrast in terms of recruiting, Coach. You got one guy from North Muskegon, about 30 minutes from here, another one from Cork, Ireland, who is across the ocean. How do you balance that in your recruiting philosophy as far as where you get the players from?
We're lucky at DU. I can look all over the world for footballers, as we call them, and I do like to keep at least 40 to 50%, maybe 60% local, or I'll call it regional. Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. I think that's absolutely crucial for the university, but I also feel that there are some incredible players overseas that want to get the opportunity to play over here. And we live in a great city. We live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, one of the best cities around, and DU brings a lot to the table. How does a young man like Matt Whelan from Ireland find out about Davenport University and your program? Yeah, that was our lead assistant, Stu Collins, is from Cork, Ireland, and played here several years ago, and has been coaching with us ever since. So it's 6, 7, 8 years now, and he knew a person that knew a person over there, and all of a sudden we got a couple young men from that area, and they've really affected the program. So it's who you know, but on top of that, there are some real neat recruiting agencies out there. But we're pretty picky with who we bring in. There's a lot of footballers all over the world, but we're looking for the right young man that fits us. Prior to coming to Davenport, Chris did a fantastic job at Calvin College, now university, but Calvin, and that prepared you for the next level where you came to Davenport. Tell us about your Calvin days and how that formed the coach that you are today. You know what? One of my greatest mentors, Dr. Marvin Zeidema, was a head coach there when I played there, and boy, did he mold me. He really took me and pretty much turned me into a man over the many years, right? Not only as a player, taught me a ton, but really when I got into the coaching aspect of the world. And he was there to help me through the highs, help me through the lows, and I just wanted to, when I got the opportunity to coach at Calvin, I just wanted to bless him for all the great things he brought to the program and really try to take his program to another level. And we were able to win or get to a couple national championships and sat in the top, 10, 15 for several years there. So but then made the transition to DU.
Yes, at the NAIA level to start, and boy, that magical season of 2016 comes to mind. You were 22-3, 20 wins, 2 losses, 3 ties. Number 3 ranked nationally at one time, and you made it all the way to the NAIA semis. That was a fantastic season for you.
Yeah, we had some really good years. The first year coming in, we just tried to make what we had productive, tried to make it competitive. Second year, we ended up going 19-3. That was back in, 2013. And then 2014, we actually won the national championship. And 15 and 16 were also fantastic, magical years. We did lose on PKs in 16 in the semifinal. And we like to say we wore down our opponent. The coach is a good friend of mine, but it was a great battle. There's some really good years in there, and then came into the GLIAC and actually won the GLIAC tournament championship the first year there.
You were the first Davenport team to win a GLIAC tournament championship, if I'm not correct. All right, right? I think you were.
GLIAC tournament.
Yeah. You were the very first team of Davenport to do that.
It's exciting. Exciting.
Let's talk about that transition then, Chris, from NAIA to D2. What did you and your program and your coaches have to change, if that much, to go when you jumped from NAIA to D2 soccer?
I really, back in the NAIA days, had a shorter technical squad, and we really needed. I found out the hard way that we needed to add some size and some weight and some height, and despite me not wanting to, it's worked out nicely, and we found some tall boys that are just eloquent with their feet, and we're just blessed to have the group that we have right now.
Over the years, what are you doing right now that you say differently that I wasn't doing 7, 8, 9 years ago as a coach? Either maybe even in the off season as far as your preparation. What's changed in you as a head coach that you think you're doing better than you used to?
Over the years, things change for sure. I completely agree with you there. When I started coaching, I was quite loud on the sideline all the time and probably quite immature. I didn't know it at the time, but, you learn over time. I've got some great assistants this year. My lead assistant, Stu Collins, does a great job, and we've even tweaked how we're coaching this year when it comes to training sessions, etc. And I like to try things a little bit differently every year. And I think we got a good little rhythm going right now, But I'm always looking for those loyal coaches, those loyal players, and I think it's absolutely crucial. But I think our culture is crucial, and I always try to be a stickler with that piece. It's not easy. Sometimes I'm the bad guy, or a lot of time I'm the bad guy. But I needed that mentorship when I was a player, right? And so do these young men. And, man, every hotel we go to or every restaurant we go to, we're hearing great things from the waitresses or the staff saying, wow, what a great team. What a bunch of classy kids.
People don't realize that means a lot to a coach.
Oh, it's huge. Absolutely huge. And got a good squad. But when the whistle blows, man, it's all out war.
All right, well, after that big weekend last week, you've got another one this week. But the good news is you're home Friday against Northwood and Sunday against Saginaw Valley State. 2 very big GLIAC games. And obviously very important to you to keep that momentum going.
Every game is just massive this year. It's one of those leagues, especially in men's soccer, that you need. It's a national championship every game. You've got to go out and ball, right? And it's a challenge. Northwood's going to bring in a good squad. We've always had some great battles between Northwood and ourselves, whether we were in the NAI and they were in the NCAA D2, or it was just a scrimmage. It was a true war. So we're expecting a big game from them, and again, Saginaw is a good rival also, and they're going to be very good also.
Chris, thanks for stopping by. Best of luck to your team.
Hey.
Great to keep it up, bud.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, men's soccer head coach Chris Hughes. That'll wrap up our coaches show from Uccello's in Caledonia. We'll be back here next week, so if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook Live, make sure you check us out next week and every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. If you're listening to us on Magic 104.9, Davenport football is next as the Panthers take on the Michigan Tech Huskies live from Houghton. Go Panthers.